Hey Keith, so on end time science, what are some current ones that we need to be looking at?
We need to be watching Israel. Israel is the focus of Revelation and the end times situation that we see in the ninth chapter of Daniel. God's prophecies revolve around his promised land. They started out in the promised land. The people lived in the promised land. They were sent away into bondage, and then they came back to the promised land. Jesus was sent as the Messiah in the promised land. It's all about God's property. And so if you want to understand what the Bible has to say about what's coming, you need to be watching what's going on in God's land. God did not give the land to the people. God told the people they could live on his property. Jerusalem is God's. The promised land is God's property, and he decides who gets to live on it. So you need to watch Israel. They're making treaties. They are negotiating with Arabs, and there's going to be discussion about sacrifices this week. There's going to be a Pesach sacrifice someplace in Jerusalem. They've not had that for thousands of years. And they're going to be trying to find a spot to set up their altar because they want to make the daily sacrifices in Jerusalem. There's going to be activity this summer on the red heifer. I believe they will announce that they have a red heifer, and they will actually provide that as the ashes that are needed to cleanse the temple, which is coming. I believe the third temple is right on the doorstep. There's going to be an attack from Iran and Syria and Turkey against Israel and Saudi Arabia, because those other nations do not want Israel to make agreements with those southern Arabs, those southern Muslims. And so a lot of this stuff is all provided for in the Bible. Go read Psalm 83. It gives us a picture of a conflict. You can read Ezekiel 38, which talks about a big battle, and God provides the victory for Israel, and it allows Israel to expand their borders and to live in a time of peace. And the Bible tells us that the Antichrist will banish the weapons. He will disband the army of Israel, which sounds crazy. Like, why would the people in Israel ever get rid of their military when they have all of these problems and all the people that hate them? Well, the Antichrist, through the direction of Satan, will convince them that they don't even need an army, and he will disband the army. That's why it's so important that people understand when Jesus comes back to defend Jerusalem, he's going to be doing it, and the Jewish people will not even have an army to fight back. And Jesus comes back and saves them from the people who want to destroy them, who were led astray by the Antichrist. And that's all coming very, very quickly. I believe it's going to be in less than 10 years. All of that stuff will happen, and we will be wrapped up.